once again, Donna Brazile has exceeded one's expectation on one of the Sunday morning show in the way she challenged the former Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus. What she did is confronted the lies that they were pre-programmed to tell on all these national networks. If you watch this week, if you watch CNN's White House, if you watch all of them, this week, Meet the Press, any one of them, they are pre-programmed with the same message to lie. And Donna Brazile did not allow it this time around. And very often she challenges it, but she was forceful in her challenge in as much as she was civil in the way she really let Reince Priebus have it. Because Republicans have been out there simply misinforming their poor audience about what's really going on. And this will materially affect them all. And I think Donna did the right thing. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
I got to say something to you. I come out of the civil rights movement. Nonviolence was our touchstone. We made change by going out there protesting because we wanted to change our country to make sure that everybody was included. Democrats, and I've been a Democrat since I was 18 years old, although I voted once or twice for a Republican or two. There's no, and I mean this, there's no place for violent rhetoric. And when you threaten election workers, when you threaten to execute your quote-unquote former Joint Chief of Staff, Mr. Milley, when you mock Nancy Pelosi's husband being beaten by a hammer, I don't want to be lectured by Eric Trump. Who in the hell is Eric Trump saying Democrats? No, there's no place for violence of any kind. And this is something that needs to be said. I was there with you, brother, Mr. Priebus. I was there with you today that Mr. Trump had that attempted assassination. The Biden campaign put down all of their ads just like they did during COVID. And they say, we are going to stop this. We need both political parties, both leaders. Do not go out there and blame Haitians. Do not go out there and blame immigrants or migrants. That is the rhetoric we hear every day. And if you cannot... You cannot say that Joe Biden won this election. Joe Biden won the election. Then you should not.
The show is not a monologue.
No, but it is
the fact of the matter is, people have different
It's the floodgate of lies.
Okay? And the fact of the matter is, this is a former president and a son that, number one, came extremely close to losing his life and losing his father. Okay, he's been called a threat to democracy from the very beginning. They got rid of a sitting president to fulfill their message that he's a threat to democracy. And in order to save this country, they had a sitting president step down, put in a vice president in the summer. This is how they feel about it. And this is how everyone on the Democratic Party feels about it. So don't sit here and act like holier than thou that somehow you have a corner on this message because you don't.
And you don't.
And that's why you're not winning. That's why Harris is behind, and that's why she's going to lose. People aren't buying the rhetoric.
She's not behind.
People are not buying the rhetoric.
We're not buying the lies.
Why can't you simply say that blaming Democrats for the association?
I would not blame Democrats.
Just say it's wrong.
I just said it, okay? But it's also wrong to paint the president of the United States, President Trump, as the threat to democracy that's going to end the United States of America. What does that do to people's heads when you do that? What does that do to millions, hundreds of millions of people in America?
What does that do to legal immigrants?
Guys,
what does it do to legal immigrants when you know you're lying? What does it do to kids who are trying to go to school?
The president of the United States practically getting killed.
And we all condemn that.
You're hitting 20 different topics.
The Democrats condemn that. But the lies, the floodgate of lies must stop.
What lies?
Too often, because the left tends to be on these programs much more civil than the right, it always seemed that the right has the upper hand in as much as they're lying most of the times. And in order to keep civility, many times they refuse to interrupt them, correct them, point out all the lies that they're taking. I'm tired of sending all these tweets during these programs where we're saying, why didn't you call them out for saying lie number 1, lie number 2, lie number 3, lie number 4? But what we saw Donna Brazile do there was encapsulate the entire thing and laid it out so much so that Reince Priebus had to say, hey, this is not a monologue here. I got to get my chance to continue my lies. And that he continued, but Donna was ready, and Donna Brazile responded as appropriate. That is what we have to do for the next few days left in this election. You have to confront the evil, you have to confront the lies, and you have to do that civilly, but with conviction. Because when people go into that voting booth, all those seeds are going to be planted in their heads. And you know which seeds usually grow? The ones that have the right fertilizer. You be the fertilizer. You be the water. You be the sunshine. And that will metastasize in their brains and come to fruition in that voting booth. Many believe it's solely about turnout, the ground game, etc. That is true. We have to get the ground game going. And what is ground game? Many times people hear, what's the ground game? Ground game is the amount of people you're touching physically. Ground game is the amount of people you're constantly calling and reminding them to go to vote. Ground game is where you have an interaction between your precincts and your community and going out and doing things. That is what it's going to take in what they claim to be a close election. Now, look, I'm still of the belief that there are a whole lot of people not being counted by the polls right now. And if those people come out and vote, I don't think it's a close election. All those new registrations, all those new people between the last 4 years that actually came up to voting age, I think those people are going to make a huge difference. But you know what? We cannot take any chances. So Donna Brazile, first of all, we got to do what Donna did, confront those who are lying. 2, engage everybody at the place that they're at. And 3, make sure to constantly encourage those folks to go vote early. And on those places that don't have early voting on voting day, be there for them to help them vote, be there for them to answer questions on how they should decide their vote. But I tell you what, folks, Donna Brazile is a good template that we should follow as far as calling these folks out.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.